Hello, everyone. You're listening to Unlocking Greatness Podcast with Zenja Glass. I want to talk today about don't be tricked. And there's a little bit of fire in my voice and in my spirit right now because this came to me so strong. If you are thinking about going off on somebody, giving somebody a piece of your mind, I don't care if it's a coworker, a friend, family member, a neighbor, or what have you. Let's say you just got a random text message and you really want to get this person a piece of your mind. You really want to. God put in my heart so strong to talk about this. Don't be tricked. You are not that person anymore where you're going to respond to all of this nonsense and you're going to try to explain yourself to somebody to try to get them to see your point of view or to put somebody in their place. You're not that person anymore. You're not going to be tricked. And the reason why I say don't be tricked is I want you to think about this. This is how the enemy works. This is how he works. Whenever you're on the right track, and I've noticed with me when God is trying to whisper something in my ear, give me that secret wisdom, something I've been praying on or waiting for a long time, there is always something that seems to happen right in that moment where the enemy comes and tries to distract me. It's a distraction. It's meant to throw you off from your purpose. And I'm willing to bet you that there are people looking into this camera or listening to this podcast who's going to say, Z, you just have no idea how close I was just about to tell somebody a piece of my mind. I was just about to set my boss or my coworker straight on something. I was just about to tell my husband off. I was just about to go off on this girl or on this guy with what he just said or did, or even on my child for that matter. I was just about to go there, and I'm telling you to stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't even have a need to do it. First of all, it's not going to change who they are or their opinion of you or what they're trying to do in the first place. It's not going to change it. All it's going to do is put you off track. You have got to learn my mother used to tell me, she used to say, baby, know you're right and go on. I used to be like, what does that mean? Know you're right. She didn't say she didn't use the proper English term. She said, baby, know you right and go on. We've got to start being that person. You are no longer going to be that person that's got to go off at the mouth and say your piece and set the record straight. You're not going to be that person anymore. I used to be that person. You guys know me now, but you didn't know me back in the day about 30 years ago. You didn't know me. I used to be that person, and it wasn't even 30 years ago. With some of the stuff I used to say and do. I always had to get the last word in, or I had to defend myself and say something. I needed to make sure that you ain't gonna walk over me. Let me make sure I get this record straight. No, I didn't do that. Why would you accuse me of that? You get my point? You don't have to be that person anymore. Don't do it. It's a waste of time and it is a trick. Now, you may think, well, Z, where are you coming from with this? And I'm going to get to a biblical passage on this in a minute. But just remember this, you guys. First of all, life is short. And I've said this many, many times. You got to understand, the way the enemy works best is he can work through just about anybody to try to get you to get off track. That's why you get those random text messages where you just want to cringe or go off. That's why you have, certain people that come to you in your life that just, especially at work or perhaps among some of your friends, or maybe I should say so-called friends, but that's why you have situations happen. Or maybe someone don't know you at all, and they're randomly sending you a message on social media or something about whatever. Some of my best podcast episodes and best situations is as a result of mess that I go through in my own life. And would you believe, just before I do recordings is when some of that mess starts to happen. Some of the most viral podcasts I've done, it's always kind of like right before that or the night before something tends to happen where I'm just kind of tempted to just go there, just get off track. No. You're not that person anymore. You're not. You don't need to defend yourself about anything. You don't need to say nothing back to that coworker. Just say to yourself, if you're listening right now, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I don't have a need to do it. And one of the things that I've done, and I pray that this works for you, I say to myself, and I say to other people who come to me with drama and, and they say, hey, Z, I'm just feeling like I'm going to go off on this person because blah, blah, blah. Here's sometimes what I say. That person is not that important to my destiny. Sometimes there's a situation happen, or in some cases, an unjust situation happen. I just say, you know what? It's not a part of my destiny. I don't need to defend that. That'll work itself out. I got to be focused. I got to stay doing what I need to do. Keep my butt on track and do my best to be silent, be still, and hear what God is trying to tell me. I don't care about the drama. I don't want to hear any gossip. Remember, I did a podcast on that. People that do a lot of gossiping, that's always got something to say about you or even other people. Remember, I did a podcast on that. I forget what I called it. But the whole point of that podcast was those are some of the people that are not living a purpose-driven life. I can always tell people who are living a purpose-driven life, always, because we don't have time to sit and gossip. We don't have time to sit and talk about what somebody else ain't doing. We don't have time to comment on what we think somebody else should be doing. We don't have time to sit and get in their face and talk about them and try to rile them up with whatever. We're being focused. So how are you going to let somebody who seemingly are not living their purpose-driven life, because I do believe there's purpose in everybody, so let me be careful with that statement. But let's say somebody that's off track. How are you going to let somebody off track come over to you, tap your little butt on the shoulder, and now get you off track? Because they're coming at you with some mess that you know ain't right, or you know it's not the truth, or you're like, where is this coming from? Or why are you saying this about me? Or why did you write that about me? Or, oh, I thought you were my friend, and now you're doing this? Or, man, why are you not showing me the love I'm showing you? Why is it not reciprocated? Why are you being so silent and not speaking to me and ain't done nothing to you? What did I do wrong? All of that mess that you get caught up in is meant to take you off track, get you off focused, and you're not going to be tricked any longer. You're going to open your eyes a little bit wider today. In the name of Jesus, you're going to open your eyes a little bit wider, and you're going to say to yourself, I'm not going to be tricked. Let me give you an example. What I love about Jesus is he knew when the enemy was coming at him to try to throw him off track. And I just can't say enough amazing things. If you look at Matthew chapter 27, and you read through the crucifixion, which I strongly advise you to read through the crucifixion. Strongly advise you to do that. So read through it all. But here's what's interesting when he was on the cross, and it says, I'm starting in verse 38. It says, 2 robbers were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God. So in other words, if you think you all that, if you say you this person, well, why aren't you showing it? Since you all that, come down off the cross. In verse 41, in the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders mocked him. So now you got some of the head honchos out there mocking him. He saved others, they said, but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him. For he said, I'm the Son of God. In the same way, the robbers who were crucified with him also heap insults on him. Now tell me that wouldn't be some major temptation at that point to get distracted, get off focus, because Jesus knew what he had to go through. He knew what he had to suffer and endure on the cross so that our little butts would have a chance of being saved. He could have very easily allowed himself not only to get distracted, but to prove a point and show them who he was. You already know he could have called legions of angels to help him. He could have just in a blink of an eye wiped their little butts out. Stay focused. He realized it was the enemy working through these people. He kept the big picture. Not the little small, narrow-minded picture. The big picture was, I need to get him to come down off this cross and not die, because we need to get him down off of that. That's the big picture. Is that I don't want him being crucified and being able to have all of these people saved. So I got to do what I got to do. I've got to insult him. I've got to do whatever I need to do to get him to give up. Or since he says he's who he says he is, to get him to show his power. It's just amazing. Jesus just blows my mind. He just blows my mind. You can go on and read the rest of the story, starting in verse 45, and just the whole. Just read it all. For the sake of time, I'm not going to read through the whole thing because the whole thing talks about how he was crucified. And then, of course, it goes on to talk about being raised from the dead and all of that. But what's amazing about the passage, the reason I wanted to bring it up, especially the part when they were hurling insults on him. Remember they twisted together the crown of thorns on his head? Remember that? Remember the beatings and the lashings? You get my point? Jesus knew who he was, and he knew what he had to endure and go through so that we would have a chance. Now, I know we may say, well, Z, our situation's a little different. I get it, but here's the point I'm making. Stay focused and stay on track and don't allow yourself to be tricked. That very supervisor or manager person you're thinking of going off on could be the gateway for your next promotion or blessing, and you don't know. Maybe that person's going through something that you just have no idea. You may not even be the problem at all. Now, I'm not excusing bad behavior if you're doing something wrong and somebody's getting on you about something, but you may not be the issue at all. It could be some other things that person's going through and you just have absolutely no idea what that person's dealing with. And again, I'm not excusing bad behavior, but I'm just trying to make a point that you going off and you giving in to that temptation can cause more harm than good. Stay on track. Don't allow yourself to be tricked. You don't need to respond back to that text message. If you guys knew the amount of messages and things that I get, I think you guys would really be amazed if you see the opinions that people have of me, what I should do, messages about how I look, anything from my afro to whatever. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody, I could put out the best podcast in the world and I could have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of positive responses. And we get a lot in one day, a couple thousand in a day, we kind of average. But you're always going to have those few people that's got something negative to say. Or somebody that tries to do something that pierces me to try to get me to respond. Now, I'm not going to lie to you because God knows, I ain't perfect, and I sometimes want to go off myself. There has been a time or two or three or four or five where I literally was texting back on whatever social media platform because, the podcast is on tons of different platforms now. But whatever platform, when someone really said something that just really got to me, say something about my mother who, as you guys know, passed away, or just something that's just so out there, I don't even want to give examples because I don't want to give any accolades to anyone who've said negative things, but some really, really harsh things, or attack my character. And I kid you not, I'm sitting there just texting or typing, putting in what I want to say back to them. And I just hear, it's just so funny I'm saying this. I wasn't even planning on telling you guys this. I literally hear God, I hear the Spirit in my ear saying, I'm not going to let you send that. I'm going to let you go ahead and type it, but you're not going to press send. I'm not going to let you send that. You're not that person anymore. You don't need to defend yourself against that. You're not going to crawl into that hole. You're not going to be tricked. My daughter, you're going to stay focused and do exactly what I tell you to do. And I'm sitting there, and when I'm done typing it, and I'm telling you guys the honest truth, especially if it's in my phone, I want to press that send button so bad so I can set the record straight, especially when someone's lied on me or said something that's just completely not true. I want to push that button so doggone bad, and God just whispers in my ear, you're not that person anymore. Don't allow yourself to be tricked. You're not going to climb into that hole. You're not going to change their opinion anyway. You stay focused on what I'm trying to tell you and what I need you to do. And I'm like, but God, I just want to do it one time. I just want to tell them something. I just want to, God's like, nope. You're not that person anymore. You don't have to defend yourself. So I pray that this encourages you. Don't do it. Don't respond to whoever is saying something, don't respond to that email. Don't respond to that text message. Don't go off on your boss or that coworker or that friend or that family member or that neighbor or that person. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just even smile about it and just say, you know what? This message came at the right time for me. Lord, let me accept it. Let me be focused on what you got for me so that I can keep going in the direction you have for me to go. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I love you all. This is a short message, but I had to get this out because I really do believe this is going to stop somebody from making a huge mistake. So don't do it. Stay on track, okay? This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Don't forget my community text number is 847. I always pause when I say it because I got to remember it. 847-648-9118. Text me so you can join my text community and I can stay in direct contact with you. Love you all. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Love you all. Bye-bye.